Welcome to the Cat Power Podcast, where we deliver powerful insights into the world of cat marine, showcasing the latest in technological advancements and highlighting the stories of the industry's most dynamic leaders. I'm your host, Sergio Tejeda. Now let's get ready to power up with the Cat Power Podcast. My name is Sergio Tejeda, your host, and we come to you each and every episode with some amazing guests. And today is no exception. I have today for you Randy Ramsey. He's the founder and president of Jarrett Bay Boat Works, and it's the principal at Blue Water Yacht Sales. He's been involved in almost every aspect of the boating and fishing industries, from running a successful charter fishing operation to co-founding the Harkers Island Sport Fishing School and serving as a marine surveyor and consultant. Randy earned his USCG captain's license at 18 and today is proud to be at the helm of the world's leading custom boat construction and service facility, Jarrett Bay Boat Works. Welcome, my friend.
Wow, Sergio, it's going to be hard to follow up on that. Everything's downhill. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be with you today.
Hey, it's so great to to talk to people like yourself, leaders in the industry who have had so much experience and so much so many stories to share. So this is going to be a great episode that I'm sure the listeners, many already know you, but if you don't know, you don't know him, we're gonna get to know him here soon. So first off, give me a little background before we get into Jarrett Bay and so forth. Give me a little background on yourself. Kind of what's your story? How did you get into the marine industry? Is this something that you've been passionate about your entire life?
So Sergio, I guess that I've been preparing for this since the first day I was born. My dad was a real avid boater, real avid fisherman, and I had an uncle that ran a charter boat out of South Carolina, and I had an opportunity to go with him when I was fairly young, and it occurred to me that day. I said, wait a minute, I can get paid and go fishing? This is a problem with me.
It's too good to be true.
So a lot of kids were, they want to grow up and be firemen or doctors or lawyers or we all have professions we're chasing as kids. Well, I was chasing being a charter boat captain. So as you stated a minute ago, I got my license on my 18th birthday and ran a charter the next day. And I didn't quite understand the fact it was going to be really hard to make a living doing that.
Yeah, so, it sounds good, right? It sounds easy. It sounded
really good, but it wasn't quite as rosy as I'd hoped. So it helped some folks. We got a couple different boats, and it was a very successful run. We did really well, but I did a little bit of everything, carrying duck hunters out in the wintertime and helping build boats in our community. And eventually that led to us building the first boat, which was one for ourselves. We couldn't afford one. We couldn't afford to hire anybody else to build one for us. So we just said, well, heck, we can do this. I tell people often that I had a conversation with this guy named George Dickel, and he helped me figure out we could do this. And unfortunately, we found out just how hard it would be. But things worked out pretty well.
So wait a minute, hold on. There was a lot to unpack there. So, what is it? Okay, so let's get to this first. What is it about fishing that has just been like a magnetic attraction in your life? What is it about that marine industry that called you?
Yes, so, I mean, when it's the fishing industry specifically, and I think that's, we all have a love. Some of us love being on the water. Some of us love the ocean, whether it's commercial shipping or, there's some allure that brings everyone to want to be part of the oceans around the world. And I do think that for me, it was the great fishing off North Carolina, which we're very fortunate to have here. And it's the ever-changing environment we see here because of the coastal topography and geography. And it was the opportunity to go and see something every day that's different. I've been really involved in a tournament up here called the Big Rock Blue Marlin tournament, which Caterpillar is also involved in. And we say a morning prayer. I do every morning for the fleet as they go out. And one of the things I talk about is giving thanks that we get to see the great wonders that have been created for us. So, I think of that, plus the competition. Anybody that's successful at fishing, they need to be pretty competitive. So it never hurt my feelings to make sure I was catching a little more than the next guy. Even though it didn't always happen.
Yeah, it's absolutely a blessing to have that opportunity to see something different, experience something different every day, and be around people who really admire nature and its beauty and all the everything that it provides for us as a society. All the fishing and that opportunity to be out there. And so you had a boat, you were out there, but you wanted something bigger, something better, and you didn't have the money to afford a
Well,
new boat or even a used boat, so you decided to build one.
I
And
did.
so who came up with that idea?
Well, I had a partner at that time, a guy named Jim Luxton, and I guess we sort of fed off each other. Maybe I was hard-headed one, and he was probably the smarter one of the two of us. But we had both worked in some boat shops, had a little bit of experience, and we decided we felt like we could do it. So we rented an old pole barn, which has since blown down we started 35 years ago, coming up in December. And we started building a boat. I think we paid $250 a month rent for the building,
Wow.
think about it today, that's not much. Well, wasn't much of a building then, to be honest with you. But we started building that boat. And, we came with a lot of challenges, Sergio. I think that what we learned is the community of fishermen then and today are still very close knit and they care about one another. And as we were going through that process, I'll never forget, we got to the transom of the boat, and I said, "Do you know how to do this?" And neither one of us did. And another local boat builder came and helped us frame the transom up in the boat, and spent time and answered questions and helped us. And if it hadn't been for that camaraderie, those people that were helping pull us ahead, then we probably would not have delivered as nice a boat as we did. And that particular boat, is still running charters right here in Morehead City every day.
No kidding.
Yep, still running charters.
Wow. And so how has the sport fishing market changed over the years? Obviously, you've been involved in it so many years, since you started the company. How has it changed? What have you seen?
Well, it's pretty interesting. When we first started building boats, we were building boats for local charter guys. And even when we started building for the private boat market, they were what I consider day boats, Sergio. You fish out of the same port every day. You do kind of the same type fishing every day. And I think that what we've seen is the globe get much smaller in the last 35 years. We found that with companies like Caterpillar, which is obviously a global company that can support these customers no matter where they are, that has given people confidence to travel to all the corners of the earth. We see people now, people that fish in the West Coast or in Costa Rica or even the Galapagos. That's not a real stretch anymore, and neither is a boat going to the Windward Islands or Azores. So when you're seeing that sort of a movement, that has changed what the demands for the boats are. It's crews are staying aboard. It's more redundant systems, and obviously everybody wants to go faster. I mean, I've never met a boat captain.
Nobody wants to go slower, for sure.
I've never met a boat captain, a car driver, or an airplane pilot that didn't want to go faster. So that's where we've seen these just huge changes in our boats. When I started, the fifth boat we built, we put Caterpillar engines in it, and they were 375 horsepower. And to think that now we have marine engines that are over 2,400 horsepower is pretty incredible.
Yeah. Well, just when you think that it can't get any more powerful than this, there's just no way you can go faster. You figure out a way to go faster. Is there going to be a point where the engines are going to outpower just the physical ability of the boat to withstand the speed, or no? Or is it vice versa?
I'm sure that I'm sure it could, sure. But what it's done is as more horsepower has come out, it's helped us evolve our methods. I mean, it's critically important that we provide a safe platform for the people to be aboard, whether it's the person who built it or the fifth owner. So we're always working with our engineering teams to make sure that the speed's not going to compromise the boat, even in difficult conditions. I mean, the engineering has changed dramatically over the years. When we built that first boat, it had a 700 horsepower engine. And now, we talk about putting nearly 5,000 in one of these boats. It's not so much, let's try this and see if it works. It's a whole lot about let's make sure it works before we try it.
Exactly. One of the great things about innovation is that as one component increases or improves, it forces you to really think outside the box and push the needle in terms of getting creative and finding innovative ways to improve, to the next level. But like you said, keeping it safe at all times.
Absolutely. And what we've seen is Caterpillar has done a good job of rising to the market. Our customers have been wanting larger and larger boats with more range, more fuel, more everything. Well, they also want to achieve a certain speed. So while trying to achieve those speeds so they can be competitive and efficient, as we've seen this horsepower climb throughout the spectrum, whether it's for smaller size boats or very large boats, they've allowed us to really meet the demand of our customers.
And how long have you been using Caterpillar engines in your boats?
So I guess the first boat we actually put a set of new engines in was a Caterpillar. The first few boats we built were for charter guys who were buying used engines. But the first brand new boat, the first nice boat we built, that boat would have been delivered about 1990. So the local salesperson here with Gregory Poole Marine that came and called on us then is still the group leader for marine engines in our area. So to say we've got a long relationship would be an understatement.
Oh my goodness! Wow, over 30 years.
Yeah,
that's fantastic. So you're part of the Caterpillar family for sure.
Well, Sergio, I'll tell you, it starts with our dealer here. Our dealer, we've got a terrific dealer in Gregory Poole. I mentioned them. We work with many others. We work with Ring Power and Pantropic and quite a few others. But obviously, since we manufacture here, we buy from our local dealer. I don't know of anybody that could have been more supportive of our needs. And that's just not the dealer doing that. That's the corporate listening. Both. We're looking for and how to do things. I tell people regularly when they come to buy boats from us, and there are other brands out there certainly of engines, and just like there are other brands of boats. But what really sets Caterpillar apart more than anything is first the fact that they will listen. They'll listen to the customer and try to understand how they can deliver a better product. But secondarily, it's the service. I mentioned that earlier. We've seen Caterpillar, the Marine Group, go above and beyond on countless occasions to ensure a customer was fishing when they wanted to fish, or supporting them somewhere that may have been remote, or just doing the right thing. And when you have a company that's got values, we talked about that just before we came on air about corporate value. When you've got a company that's got values that they want to do the right thing, they can't help but be successful. I fully believe that. So I'll give you just a very quick example. When the C32B was under development, the engineering team for those engines came and met with myself and several other boat builders. And they said, tell us what you see wrong. Tell us what we can do better. We talked about maybe raw water pickups being changed. And we talked about the ability to service the engine because maybe the oil filters were on a side that would be difficult to access. Or maybe the secondary and primary fuel filters maybe weren't quite as easy to access. And they listened and they came back with a product that I believe is going to take over the marketplace.
Interesting. So let's talk about that a little bit. That C32B, over 2,400 horsepower. These things are beasts when in the water. How has that experience been? So if you haven't seen Jarrett Bay's videos, you need to check those out. The amount of work and technical ability that goes into repowering, right? But you guys do that quite a bit. You're experts in that space. Tell me about that experience of putting in the C32B. What were some of the first impressions that you guys have had?
Well, so we've got the first set. I guess you could call us guinea pigs, or you could call us the luckiest company on the planet.
Yeah,
I'll take the latter. I'll take the lucky part. Then when the engines arrived, they were everything we expected them to be on the crates. Things were places we could service and access, and this is a completely new engine. I think something I want to make sure that your listeners know is the C32B. It may share the C32 model number, but they listen to the customer here. This engine not only got a lot of power, it's very quiet. It is remarkably
interesting
quiet in comparison to some of the other engines of high horsepower like that we've seen. We repowered. It's underway now. We repowered a 70-footer that we built, I believe, in 2008, And well,
The Iron Leader, right?
Iron Leader.
There you
Interestingly
go.
enough, when that boat was built, she had the first pair of MTU 2400 horsepower engines ever
Wow.
put in a boat. So it's really ironic that we've got the exact same platform that is acting as basically the test boat for the first set of engines. We've had a great experience with the engineers here, trying to maximize performance, trying to understand how they can tune the engine to the optimum place, and it has already resulted in some very positive things. Even though this boat is just finishing up her initial testing, we have two more boats here that we're taking engines out of and are replacing them with C-32Bs. So
Wow.
I guess you could say we have three active projects currently, and that's a very exciting thing. The second boat we started is yet another boat that we built that the customer is very enthusiastic about it.
Sure,
And
sure,
the
sure.
third is a Hatteras. It's a 68-foot Hatteras that I think this is going to be the ideal power plant for that boat.
So what are the things that you think set that engine apart versus others that you've seen? So you said, quiet, that's one of them. That's an important factor for customers. They want to have a nice experience out there. What else do you hear?
It's very quiet. It's very well designed. For the amount of horsepower, it's very compact. We all are kind of, in the first set, and I'm glad Caterpillar chose to do it like they did. We're all learning together a little bit. Whether it's the people that are helping us make the risers and the exhaust, or folks that are helping support other aspects of it. It's very clean. It appears it's extremely easy to work on. The new control system that they have with these engines just seems to be working perfectly. It's pretty interesting to me that you get that close to hitting the market 100% when you just put the first set in. So I think that's going to go back and somebody should get a lot of accolades for paying attention along the way and making sure that this motor was going to be just right when it came out.
Absolutely. And when customers are looking to repower, especially if they go up in horsepower, it requires a lot of detailed thinking, right? It's not just drop in a new engine. There's a lot of other components and things you have to worry about and look into.
And it's very seldom that a customer's not going to go up in power for repower.
Right.
Right. What I was talking about earlier, everybody wants to go faster, but it is shaft size, and it's making sure it's sized properly, and exhaust size, and making sure it's sized properly. And I think a lot of people don't think about things as small as fuel lines. We have to be able to provide the right amount of fuel flow to these engines so that it's unrestricted so that they can perform at their best. It's air flow, from the ventilators in the boat. So our engineering team, working with the Caterpillar engineers, go through a process to ensure all those things are going to take place. And if we have to go up in shaft size, that sometimes means struts have to come out and the whole running gear has to be replaced.
Wow.
But we're up to that challenge too.
Absolutely. Yeah, you guys have done this. It's not your first rodeo, that's for sure. And so what's the, you've been in this business for 30 plus years. What's the future? What does the next 20 years look like for Jarrett Bay Boat Works? What's your vision?
Well, so Sergio, we do a couple of things here. We do a lot of things. We do build and manufacture custom sport fishing boats, which is something I've been very passionate about since we started. But to your point with repowers, we do a tremendous amount of service work here. Our boat yard now services boats up to 150 feet in length. So we do my vision, I guess, when we came to the location we're in is we have vendors and we have companies that complement what we do all around us. We have Gregory Pool Caterpillar. I'm sitting within a quarter mile of their marine distribution center here. So we have them on site. We have electronics companies on site. So we have canvas people on site. So we can support basically anything you want to do to your boat with one stop. What you asked me was, where do I see the marine industry going? And I think that we're going to continue to see customers want to explore more on their own bottoms. So I think we're going to continue to see people looking for speed, size, range, comfort. When I think about the first boat and the level of comfort, the air conditioning on that boat was you slid the windows open on the side of the cabin. And we hadn't done a boat like that in a while.
Yeah.
Our last boat just left for Puerto Rico, and we're thrilled to have those customers. But it is, and our business is very much like the luxury automobile industry. I guess I could compare us to is seeking perfection and seeking peak performance. And I think that as long as we've got forward-thinking companies like Caterpillar working with us, we'll continue to chase that.
Well, you guys are not only, scientists in your craft, but you're artists as well, because I've seen some of the videos and some of the detailed work with the teak and the maple, inlays and all. There's no detail that's not, left unthought of there. It's incredibly beautiful. You guys are producing some amazing boats, and with that partnership with Caterpillar, an engine that's second to none. I think you guys have a tremendous future ahead of you, and I would love to get on one of those boats with you guys one day if you're ever down in South Florida. So
we're going to have the Iron Leader at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show here in just about.
There you go. I might have to drive up and see you guys.
Come make a trip up. You're going to have to come out of the deep South and come up to Lauderdale.
It's not too deep. It's not too deep down here.
Not too far. You're right.
Yeah. Well, Randy, fantastic having you on the show, my friend. Where else can people learn about the boats and some of the great stuff that you're doing?
Sure. They can always go to our website, which is jarrettbay.com. Certainly we have social media, and we'd love for them to find us that way, but they can also find us through all Caterpillar social media when it comes to the Iron Leader. The Iron Leader now has its own Instagram site, and we're all having a little bit of fun with that.
It has its own Instagram page?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yep. The Iron Leader's an influencer now.
Iron Leader's an influencer now, right? You're going to have to make sure she's washed off just right before she goes onto the film. But
that's right. I'm going to be waiting.
We welcome tours. We always welcome people to come and see us and visit us. And just like I talked about a moment ago, we'll be at the Lauderdale Boat Show on the Iron Leader, and Caterpillar will be taking people on sea trials to see just what these engines are all about. And we're pretty excited about that.
Fantastic. All right, my friend. Have a great one. Best of luck to you and your family and your team there. I think you guys are doing amazing things. And we'll see you down at Fort Lauderdale. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please follow and rate us. And be sure to share it with a friend so that you can power up their life and their career.